Hi everyone, it's Pedro Baez from Go for Glory Stable, the founder and managing partner of the group, working alongside Charlie Longo, general manager. Today is November 10th, 2025. This is the baby video, and as usual, please like, subscribe, as it helps the channel to grow. So I'm gonna try to get through this kind of quickly. I just believe it or not, this is my second go around with this. Uh, Lost internet. So, but it's back. So, with that being said, let's jump into the babies. So, this video, we're going to uh, talk about all the yearlings that we bought. So, we got 8 yearlings, and we're going to talk about the 2-year-olds. So, Adios, my Lindy is going to get double dose because I actually mentioned her on the racehorse video. She's not 3 yet. She's still 2. So, but you get a double dose of her. So that's the plan. So this it's gonna be a little longer baby video. That's why I split them up because I wanted this video to kind of be its own thing. We're pretty much done with the yearlings. I'm pretty unless something really compelling comes out of nowhere, we're pretty much done with the yearlings. Um, 90%, 95%. But I would say more. I would say we're done. Let's just say we're done. If you hear from me or Charlie, then it's something that we really couldn't refuse, and I strongly doubt even that's going to happen. I think we're done. We got plenty. Look, last year we had 4 yearlings, and that was a good amount. And this year we got 8. So, you don't want to go too crazy. We have about uh 12, 12, 15 older horses. I consider geologic older horses because next year there'll be 3. So I think 3-year-olds and older. So if we're gonna get anything else right now, it's probably gonna be a racehorse, like an overnight racehorse. So so yearlings we're pretty much done. So I want to use this video to go through kind of dust settled what we got, and let's kind of go from there. So adios, my Lindy. Adios, my Lindy. Um, as you mentioned in the 3-year-old video, the only thing with her, she's turned out right now, and it's just a mental thing. So physically, she's great. She's sound. She's strong, powerful. We saw some glimpses of her this year that we were like, she's actually pretty got some go to her. Her siblings have really done a great job this year, especially Takeda Lindy. So from a broodmare value, it's kind of big boost, huge boost this year to her broodmare value. When we got her, Takeda Lindy never even raced, so he made like almost 250,000 this year as a 3-year-old alone. So that wasn't even on her pedigree page when we got her, and we got her for like 70,000, which sounds like it is a lot. But I remember when we got her, I was like 70,000. How did we get a beautiful, strong Walner, great family for 70? Well, now if she sold now, she wouldn't have been 70, especially with Takeda Lindy on her page. Plus, her other siblings are been doing pretty well this year too. So she's in a good spot. If all goes well, she'll qualify in March, this upcoming March. They don't need as much time to come back as 3-year-olds. As 2-year-olds, different. 2-year-olds they don't really have much muscle on them at all. They don't have much lungs to them. They don't. They're starting from scratch. Everything is just being built up from scratch. She's already a racehorse. She's got the muscles. She's got the stamina. So she's gonna get a short break, and then the training will begin, um, probably around December, January, probably January, and then she'll be. It's not gonna take her that long. It's just gonna take her a couple months to qualify, to be in shape to qualify in March, and then hopefully she races a full year. So she's New Jersey, which isn't the greatest thing. Although New Jersey looks like they did do some. They're adding some new types of races. So we'll see. I gotta look again, see if the 3-year-olds, the 3-year-olds in 2026, if they qualify for it, or if it's only the 2-year-olds. Um, but yeah, she'll be doing New Jersey if assuming she's competitive. I don't know. I don't know. New Jersey, if you all know New Jersey Trotters is extremely tough. It's like almost Grand Circuit, and they don't have any secondary levels, just New Jersey Sire Stakes. That's it. So that's why they're thinking about other levels. And then so she'll probably let's assume she's not doing that. Then she'll be doing a lot of overnight races, and then she'll do Massachusetts, and then probably sprinkle in some Grand Circuit. But hopefully she kind of does. She gets that mental thing out of her head, and she's kind of like mature and just kind of trust the driver and trust Paul, and um, and then just kind of like puts it all together and just goes out there and trots. Because if she does and just trots like a normal racehorse and kind of does her thing, I mean, there's no reason why she can't be really good. There's no reason why she can't be as good as Geologic or better. She Geologic is just very professional. She just we were never able to really see a complete package from her this year. 'Cause she just kind of was all over the place. So that's her story, and she's doing well, and we'll see her next year. Well, she'll be jogging and stuff maybe any other this year, and then we'll see her qualify next year in March. Usually down in Florida, Sunshine Mountain, and then she comes up in April. Let's go to the next horse. Next horse is Beetlejuice. I have them spelled wrong in my phone. It's Beetlejuice Blue Chip. Not I keep thinking Beetlejuice Hanover. It's Beetlejuice Blue Chip, and let's go to him right now. He's at Big Z right now, so let's pull him up. We might have a little more available also than the 5%. Just letting you know. We might be able to keep. We got first dibs from the partnership basically to get what we want. So, and he's a nice horse. So this is Beetlejuice Blue Chip, beautiful crazy wild colt. He was $15,000 at the Harrisburg sale. I like that little white sock he's got in the back. Skybox has that, and Invictus has it in the front left, yeah. And so we'll kind of always know where our horse is. And he's beautiful, he's strong, he's compact, he's not huge, which is what we want. We don't want huge, especially in New York. And Crazy Wild's excellent stallion, and he's got a great family. So let's look at his family first. So Blue Chips, he's consigned and raised at Blue Chip, so that means Blue Chip Farms owns him. It's not another breeder that puts him at the Blue Chip Farms. They're very reputable, extremely reputable stable. That's where we got Geologic from. So we buy from Blue Chip a lot. So they do a great job. And so he's New York only. So and we like that because New York is excellent program. Excellent. So seven, just so you all know, 7 legs. Um, New York Sire Stakes, 7 legs. Those races can go from the trotters. They usually go anywhere from 40,000 to like over 100,000, depending on where it's at and how many enter. Finals 300,000 for New York Sire Stakes. Excelsior 7 legs, $20,000 a pop, plus $100,000 final. So it's way better than like the Pennsylvania Stallions. It's not even close. Pennsylvania Stallions is five legs, 20,000. I think Stallions is like 55,000. They haven't gotten with the times at all. So it's the New York is excellent right now. Then there's fairs, but we won't be doing the fairs. We would do the reason we won't be doing the fairs is they're kind of like in the far off, they're really far away, and the purses are like tiny, like $2,000. So I mean, we'd have to. I mean, it'd be hard for us to make any sort of profit there. So we would do New York Sire Stakes, Grand Circuit. Obviously, if you get to the jackpot, New York Sire Stakes, Excelsior, and like overnights, like now winners 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, and stuff like that. Um, so he's New York, and he's not eligible to anything else like Kentucky or Massachusetts, and that kind of that's what keeps his price down. Which is what we wanted. We don't want to spend a fortune. You don't need to spend a lot of money to get a good racehorse. Skybox 25,000. We made about 110,000 with him as a 2 and 3 year old, and corner store for Paul. We don't have corner store. She was 32,000. I think she made like 175, and she could have made a lot more if she wasn't like breaking and stuff as 2 year old. Um, she made a lot. She was only 32,000, so you don't need to spend a lot to get a nice horse, and that was the goal with Beetlejuice Blue Chip. You don't want every horse to be. Yeah, we do more expensive horses? Yes, we do, because especially in Massachusetts, it's so competitive there. You need the higher end horses to compete. New York, you don't really need that. You can compete if you get, if Beetlejuice Blue Chip ends up okay, he can make plenty of money. So that's why we do that. Um, and he's a May colt, so May isn't bad. He's mid-May. I mean, the goal is to get it as close to January and February as possible. So He's kind of towards the back end, but it's not bad. May isn't bad. If it was like June 16th, and you'd be like, oh man, now you're really pushing it. But May is fine. He's fine. I think Gretzky the Great was a Mayful, um, if memory serves me right. And so Crazy Wild Colt, Donato Hanover, is a dam, and she is so he's actually, I mean, it's not the right way to look at it, but just telling you logically, he's actually a 75% sibling to Crazy for Love. We had Crazy for Love was one of our first, not one of our first, but it's one of the earlier yearlings we had about 3, 4, 5 years ago. She's actually was uh, Skybox's older sister, also Crazy Wow. So she was a Crazy Wow, Donato Hanover, um, Beal Juice, Blue Chip. I think Beal Juice, how you pronounce it, is a Crazy Wow, Donato Hanover, and she was okay. She did well. She got to the Excelsior finals as a 2 year old. She just had a little. Her head. She was kind of like Adios Marlindi. Her head wasn't on right, and she kind of had braking issues. But it's funny because Skybox didn't have any braking issues whatsoever. So it was weird. They're like polar opposites. But yeah, Crazy Wow, nice family. He has Walkengo is his half brother, half sister. Walner, she very good. She was excellent. And that Sevenato sibling qualified this year, didn't race. We'll see how he does next year. But most importantly, it's his kind of his second dam. That's where the party's at. So you got Broadway Hall in there, world champion. He's a stallion as well. Tom Kengo, who's out of Tom Ridge. Tom Ridge is like, I don't, it's like he was not a good stallion, or not a famous stallion, put it that way, not a well-known stallion, but he produced a horse that made over 500,000. So it's a good family. When you got, stallions like Conway Hall and Tom Ridge, and they're producing these. Well, Conway Hall's Hall of Famer, but Tom Ridge, producing these nice horses, and it's a good family. And if you look down, it's family. You got Fatosive in here, you know. Uh, you kind of go down the line. It's a really deep, strong family, and for 15,000, it's no brainer. So, but with the Colts, don't go crazy too much on the family. You do want a nice family. Kind of gives you an indication how they're going to do. But the Colts, the big thing with the Colts is how they look. So let's take a look at him real quick. Beautiful, beautiful Colt. I like Colts. Even though we get a lot of trotting fillies, I like Colts. So there he is, and he's well proportioned, typical crazy wow. Kind of like with that big neck, big shoulders. That's how the Crazy Wilds look. They're compact. They're not gigantic, which is good for New York. You see those legs. They're like strong, muscular legs. Nice rump, nice, rump and hind to him. And his front legs are not too close to each other or anything, and not too far apart. So this is kind of what you look for. He looks like he's got his eyes, he's kind of aware of his surroundings, so you kind of want to see that. You kind of want a little bit of a smart horse. Um, and yeah, he's got a nice, he looks nice, nice little gait to him, and um, he's not small, but he's not gigantic. So with New York, you do not want gigantic. So we'll get to that in a second. But yeah, he's just a nice. He checks all the boxes. Just a rock solid colt. And he's gonna get bigger. He's gonna get bigger. He's gonna get stronger as time goes on. He's still just a 1 year old. And like I said, he's a Mayfall, so he's not like a January or a February fall where he's got all his months ahead of him. So uh, excellent, excellent prospect. Like I said, you don't want them to be too big for New York, because New York, you got to get around those half-mile tracks, and a lot of times the big horses kind of struggle around those tracks. So um, he's kind of a good fit, and I think maybe that's why Crazy Wow in general has done so well in New York. I don't know, but Crazy Wow has. It's not. I mean, I'm not saying Crazy Wow is Chapter 7, but as far as like recent non-Chapter 7 trotting stallions and trotting stallions in New York, I think Crazy Wow has been like one of the most successful ones. Devious Man's been okay. Metz Hall, they've been okay. Even though we got a Metz Hall, but they really haven't had, um, especially this year. They didn't, because Crazy Wow was not in this year, so they didn't have a lot of competition. And they're not really, they had a couple of nice ones, but um, I'm a big fan of Crazy Wow. So we got two of them. We'll talk about Loving on Louis um, in a bit. But yeah, Beetlejuice, blue chip, excellent. And he's only 15,000, so $150 a share. So he's a no-brainer to take a shot on. Beyond the Rules. Let's go to Beyond the Rules. She was also a Harrisburg purchase, and she was $75,000, so she wasn't cheap. She is the half sister to Geologic, our friend, who's killed it this year. And you see how she doesn't look. Geologic had much darker hair because of that Captain Corey side. Um, he was more leggy, even though she's pretty leggy herself. She's got long legs. So, and that's the Chapter 7 side. Um, Chapter 7, just that's what they produce, a lot of long legs, which is, it's what you want. So, she's kind of got all that going on. She's back of the neck, first time sire, back of the neck. So no one really knows what he's going to be. He was um, he was trained by Oki Svanset in his career, and he was a really good as a 2 and 3 year old, but then he was like, exceptional as a 4 and 5 year old as a free for aller. He was really good. I used to watch him all the time, and he was one of my favorite horses to watch and actually to bet and stuff. Crazy Wow, Crazy Wow, same way. He wasn't Oki's Svanset. He was like a small trainer in New York for the 2 year old, killed his 2 year old. Um, then I think Ron Burke paid a fortune to get him for 3 year old, made a fortune in New York and 3 year old, and then they turned him into a Grand Circuit horse, free for all, as a 4, 5, 6 year old. And same thing. He was very consistent, very consistent high end racehorse. So I like those types. Six pack was the same way. I like those horses that, are that kind of keep racing after three, and then they just show that they're really good. Like, they didn't just get a lucky 2 and 3 year old division. They're even getting beating older horses too. Um, so this is Beyond the Rules. She's in New York and Massachusetts. She's a March foal. So March is what you want to get. She's by Chip Raymond Campbell. He goes by Chip Campbell. He's actually staying in on her. He actually got 25% of her. That's a really good sign when the breeders stay in. He didn't want to he wanted to make sure he had a piece. And then it's probably because at some point he wants to breed her, buy her back and breed her. Um um, so she's New York and Massachusetts, and New York, obviously, like I said before, New York is a focus for us. We want as much New York as possible, and then Massachusetts is excellent. With Massachusetts, you got to pay a premium, as you all saw with Geologic and the other horses. There's a reason why you got to pay the premium um, to race there, but it's not cheap. You need good horses. You cannot go to Massachusetts with cheap horses, and you gotta pay up. It's kind of like what's the phrase? The cost of doing business, I guess, over there. So you gotta get the good ones. So back of the neck, first time sire. We'll see how he does. Um, Crystalline is the dam. She's Chapter 7, so we love Chapter 7 dams. She actually almost made 200,000 herself. This family is an incredible family. I mean, I say incredible meaning um, it's 100% producing family. So all three, the dam only had three foals, and all three foals are making money and are winners. You know, Chasing Crystals is only 6,000, 5,000 plus away from 100,000 made. Peach Cocktail already made 100,000. This thing is just isn't updated. Geologic made 165,000. This thing just isn't updated. So it's a great family, 100% producing, and that was a big reason why she was 75. Plus Geologic. So the more Geologic does next year, the more it's going to increase her value as a broodmare prospect. Um, you know, so meaning that 75,000 we can get the better he does, and then the better hopefully, the better that Beyond the Rules does, it'll increase that value a lot. It's kind of like insurance when if we ever look to sell her. So that's her immediate family, great family. She got hashtag Made You Look. It's in the second dam. Her mother, Crystalline, is a full sister to hashtag Made You Look. So it's just all the way down. It's a very rock solid family. Um, and it's only getting better with Geologic, and hopefully she can add on to it. So she from a pedigree perspective with fillies, you want to make sure you got pedigree, and we got that with her. We got more than enough pedigree with her. So there's no reason she can't be great. Um, yeah, and you look at her video here. She obviously, she looks different than like Beetlejuice that we just saw because she's completely different. She's a back of the neck, and she's a Chapter 7 dam. So she's much more leggy, like we talked about earlier with the picture. She's much more leggy than than Beetlejuice is, and she's also longer, just longer. So which is good. It's what you want to see. So that's why she wasn't cheap. You know what I mean? She looks good, beautiful looking filly, strong shoulders, well proportioned. Looks really nice actually. So I'm very curious with back of the neck because you know, we've been talking about the back of the neck for a while, knowing that he's in New York and kind of waiting to see what those yearlings do. And this is we'll know next year. Now we'll know next year whether back of the neck is can compete with Chapter 7. So it's exciting year. New York needs more trotting stylings, more good ones. So we're all rooting for back of the neck, just like we were last year for Captain Corey, who was new to Pennsylvania. Captain Corey killed it, thankfully. So that's beyond the rules. Let's move on to Geologic. Geologic is he's turned out now, so he's doing fine. He um he will same story as Adios. He's gonna just hang out for a little bit, and then around late December, January, he'll start training, and he's not gonna need much time. He's only gonna need like I don't even know I don't even know. It's gonna need like 2 or 3 months to get back. It doesn't really take much at all because he's already in shape. He's already in shape. He's already been doing all the work to get in great shape. So they don't take that long to come back. He'll probably come back qualifying late March. Um, this is assuming all goes well. Assuming all goes well, he'll qualify in late March and down in Florida, Sunshine Meadows, and then come back in April. And then he should be. Well, everyone who owns him, you gotta. I'm just gonna give you a warning now. So the way Paul works is 2-year-old season, he doesn't really go crazy staking them too much. Yeah, it's weird. Like Geologic, he didn't stake them that much. Adios, he staked up to Wazoo. But you don't really know. So you got to kind of like, especially as like a 2-year-old season, you really don't know what they are, especially when you're trying to do staking in January, February, March, April, May, or February, March, April, May, or in that range. You really don't know what those babies are. So it's hard to gauge what to stake them to. So Geologic wasn't staked to much at all as a 2-year-old. He's basically in Massachusetts and PA, and we just did Massachusetts. I would imagine, I would imagine that Paul's going to make him eligible for a lot next year. So um, way more like Grand Circuit, PA, Massachusetts plus Grand Circuit races. So just all the geologic people, just make sure you're mentally aware that he'll probably be staked much significantly than he was as a 2-year-old. So just gonna give you a heads up on that one, for good reason. Why not? Why not? I mean, so he should be. So that's going to be the staking. He'll probably race next year. He'll probably do the whole Pennsylvania circuit, meaning Pennsylvania Sire Stakes and then Massachusetts Sire Stakes at the end. He'll probably do like the Pennsylvania other races like Simpson or the Liberty Bell, things like that. And we'll see what else Paul stakes him to. Um, Stake him to as well. So he's gonna have a full year next year. It won't just be waiting for Massachusetts, and he'll obviously have overnights mixed in. So yeah, that's the deal with him. And just we right now we just gotta he deserves a break, and then hopefully he comes back strong. So that's the deal with Geologic, and he's a good one. So we got lucky with that one. Um, let's go to the next source, Lebanon Louis. Lebanon Louis. Let's go to Lebanon Louis. We've already went kind of hard on the Lexington yearlings. We did a Lexington yearling video when we finished that, but I'm just gonna quickly go through here. He's a crazy wild colt, just like Beetlejuice Blue Chip, but he's beautiful looking colt, but he is different family. So let's just go through him. So he's he's New York and Kentucky. So Kentucky's an excellent program. We won't do well, more than like unless he's like unbelievable. Most likely not doing anything Kentucky as a 2-year-old, and then a 3-year-old is potential. I mean, if he's really doing amazing, might do Kentucky, but we'll see. Um, there's plenty of money to be made in New York, and he's Crawford Farms, excellent breeding operation in New York. The March colt, so March is what you're looking for, and he's a Cantab Hall dam. Who Cantab Hall is a lot of you probably know Cantab Hall is a superstar stallion, superstar stallion. So obviously his broodmares, um, are sought after as well. So there's Balenciaga. Lebanon Louis is a half brother of Balenciaga. I think Balenciaga, I think he's over 400,000 now, I believe, or really close to it. So, he comes from a good family and solid family overall. But for him, for Lebanon Louis, the big thing with him is more of like how he looked. Remember, with the Colts, it's kind of like we kind of focus more on how they look, and he is a beast. So that's why, and he was $40,000, and that's why. So here he is. You see right away his shoulders are all muscular and defined. It looks like he's lifting weights every day. He got, he's his legs are really thick and muscular. They're not little skinny, scrawny little legs. Everything about him is strong, and he has a lot of that crazy wow look in him. Stocky, big neck, big shoulders, but compact. You see how he's like compact. He's not. He's I mean, he's got that camera kind of zoomed in there, but yeah, Crazy Wow is a little bit more compact. He's a little bit longer than Beetlejuice Blue Chip, um, probably from the Can Tap Hall side, and he's actually he's a looker, and he looks good, and that's why he was 40,000. So he's a nice one. He's in Lexington doing his thing, doing kindergarten, learning how the ropes of how to become a racehorse and jogging every day. He'll be in Florida in December, and then hopefully back up here in April, in Saratoga. Ma's always right. Let's do Ma's always right. She is a $75,000 yearling purchase from Lexington, and she's a trotting filly and international money. International money is um, underrated styling and trotting styling in Pennsylvania, and he's very good. He's excellent. So that the killer that Geologic was facing, each race was international money. So it's a great he's an underrated stallion. So here she is. She's from Lindy Farms. Lindy Farms based in Connecticut, and they are the number one producer of Massachusetts breds in the world, and they spare no expense. They only get the best mares. They use the best stallions. International Money is they actually raced him. He was one of their horses they bred, and I believe they bred him, and he went off to become a champion, and uh he got screwed as a racehorse. I think he broke in the Breeders' Crown or he broke in the Hambletonian, one of those things, and he was like one of the favorites. So he's he was snake bitten on the race side, but on the racehorse on the breeding side, he's actually been very consistent, and every year he's producing horses. So I think he's getting more and more respect as time goes on. Granted, Captain Corey's taking a lot of his limelight right now, but international money, and really nice international money filly. She's Pennsylvania, Kentucky, and Massachusetts eligible, so she's eligible three different jurisdictions. That drove up her price because we have tons of options. Chocolatier, her dam is from Chocolatier. Chocolatier is a credit winner. He was a credit winner sire, and his claim to fame is he produces amazing horses. Broodmares that are Chocolatier produce really nice looking horses. So that's what she is. And if you look at all her family, her immediate family, they got five foals, four of them are winners, and that Holocene thing didn't do much. But he has a beaten time of 54-3. So I mean, he's he looks like he's got power. He just hasn't been able to earn. But yeah, that family, it's rock solid family. So this is why she costs money. Even the children of that family, Fanny Lipkowitz, Green Ma, even the children have speed. So that's why she was 75,000. If she was a colt, she probably wouldn't have been that much. I'm guessing maybe more like 50, maybe 60. But it's because of that broodmare value that she was 75,000 because she has a great family. So she's a horse that you just kind of you want to breed to. So Snow White is in the family. Um, World champion, millionaire, and she got another 500,000 in that family. Another 500,000 looks like money. Go down the line. This her family is incredible. So uh, it's very simple. So that's a reason when you see all this black type, you know what I mean, like these big letters, black type. That's just she's loaded. So that's why she costs so much from a pedigree side. That's what you want from the fillies. You want your fillies to be loaded up with pedigree. So check out her video. Let's see. Let's see. Here we go. All right. So here's her video, and there's only 5% left of her. It's kind of strange, but she's a there she is, beautiful looking filly. She's long, she's international money, so she looks different than the Crazy Wows. We just looked at two Crazy Wows. They're more stockier, big neck, more compact. She's got that more of like the skinnier legs, you know, um, more defined, like kind of like skeletal structure, like in her shoulders and stuff. So that's kind of like the international monies and how they look. And they produce great racehorses, really great racehorses, every single year, every year. So his stock is way up, international money, and she's a nice one. So we're looking forward to her. She's going to be doing Pennsylvania, Massachusetts, Kentucky. Not sure how much Kentucky she'll do as a 2-year-old. But I think if she does well, then as a 3-year-old, that might definitely be an option. But yeah, she's really nice. Excellent, excellent, uh, excellent prospect in the barn. So and she's actually one of the higher ends and one of the um, better prospects in the barn. On tap Lindy, we can get to him real quick. On tap Lindy. Now we're not now we're getting into all the international monies from that we got from Lexington. On tap Lindy, he was $40,000. He's a also international money, and he's a Cantab. He was out of Cantab Hall Dam, I believe. Beautiful colt, more of a longer body than we were looking at before with the Crazy Wows. And same thing, he's eligible to those three jurisdictions: Pennsylvania, Kentucky, Massachusetts. April foal, April colt. That's fine, perfectly fine. That's actually kind of what you want. Oh, Cantab Hall. He's not a first fall. He's a third. He's a he is not a first fall, but he is from a Cantab Hall um, mare. He was actually Paul's first choice. He was Paul's number one choice from a colt from Massachusetts, colt from Lexington, and family rock solid down the line, especially that second. The immediate family, not so much, but that second dam is kind of where the party's at. So that's where his power is coming from. He was a um, $40,000 yearling, which is reasonable, and that's kind of what we want, to be honest. We don't want every yearling to be 75,000. That's we're not there. We're not there yet. But there he is, and you see, this is why he's really nice looking. You see, he's got that international money that, like, that we just saw with Maz always right. But you see how he's got much more muscle to him. He's got a little bit more. He's got much more meat on those legs, meat on those shoulders, meat on the rump. He's long. He's got that strong neck. He looks really nice. So there's no reason that why this guy can't be really good. No reason at all. Um, he's a really nice looking colt. And that's kind of what you look for, like we said. I keep saying it over and over again with the colts, it kind of matter more how they look versus the pedigree. And that's what we got with him. So he looks great. Price was right. You know, 40,000 is not that much, especially for Massachusetts breds. Um, but yeah, we were very happy to have him. Yeah, he's really nice looking. Yeah, he's nice looking. So excellent, excellent, uh, excellent yearling prospects. So let's keep going to the next one. Next one we got is Scene Lindy. Scene Lindy. We got her at Lexington, and this is, I think, the last of the yearlings, I believe. Scene Lindy. Another international money. Like we're going down the line of international money. So she's international money. She's the one that's a first time Muscle Hill filly, first time Muscle Hill. So we got her for a bargain. She was 22,000. So Paul Reed, who runs Preferred Equine Marketing, he actually texted Paul right afterwards, and he's like 22,000 was a bargain. He's like that. He said that was a steal. Ridiculous. Yeah, 22,000. She was the first fall from a Muscle Hill dam. Yeah, her Muscle Hill dam didn't do much, but kind of like what we talked about with Chapter Seven, you kind of want that. We're getting international money, so we know we got a very solid stallion, but we're getting that Muscle Hill blood in there, which is a game changer. Muscle Hill is one of the best. Just for all people not familiar, Muscle Hill is one of the greatest sires ever be in harness racing. So Pennsylvania, Kentucky, Massachusetts eligible, and she's a January foal. I mean, so like she's going to be on the way older side from um, yearling perspective. So gotta hope that kind of helps as far as maturity and things like that. Like I said, her immediate family, she's a first foal. Her mom is a half sibling to Mischief, who made 330,000. So she's got some family there, and then down the line, her third dam, she's got some family over there. I mean, it's not she doesn't does she have the family that Ma's Always Right had? No, not even she. Ma's Always Right's family was exceptional. I forgot Beyond the Rule. With Geologic and everything, her family was really good, super good. You know, this one, her family's solid. It's solid. It's not blowing the doors off. And that, with fillies, owners are obsessed with the pedigree. That's just kind of how it is. So that drives a lot of their value. Oh, looks like we got a commercial here. So that drives a lot of their value. And we'll check out her video. And she looks good. It's weird looking at her because she's got that international money, you know, long kind of like those shoulders and everything, just like international money, the same kind of skeletal structure. But then she's got like beef to her. You know what I mean? And that's the Muscle Hill. So she's kind of beefy. And that's the Muscle Hill, the Muscle Hill family that's coming through right there. Where even though she's international money, who's typically more racier, thinner, um, she's because of that Muscle Hill side, she's actually got like some bulk to her. That's why, there's no reason why she can't be a great racehorse. 22,000. She doesn't know how much she costs. She doesn't know how much she costs. So why not? Why can't she be really good? Now we actually weren't able to get that much of her. We only had like I don't even remember. It was like 25, 35% in total. We weren't able to get much because it's just how it went. So, but she's excellent. She's solid. So whoever did get in, good luck with Sean Lindy. She's there's no reason why she can't be a great racehorse. None at all. So, all right, we're going. Let me just make sure we got seven Seagrams. I'm not going to go through their stuff. Actually, seven Seagrams. Yes, we should. Seven Seagrams is a um, we're gonna go through her real quick. Nothing too crazy because we um we've been talking about her for a while. So right now she's just jogging, doing her job. From a training perspective, nothing really to note, and she's doing well. But from a pedigree, like I said, this video I wanted to kind of go through all the horses, all the yearlings we got to kind of summarize it. Six pack, six pack filly, born April 26th. So she's kind of towards the back end, but not bad. April's fine. Chapter 7 dam is what we're looking for. We always look for Chapter 7 dams. Her immediate family, five foals, and then four of them are winners. And then she's a full sister to Corner Store, who's also, six pack Corner Store, who made 180,000. And she probably could have made more money. She just was breaking a lot as a 2-year-old. But would have made way more than that. But so she has a really nice family, really nice full sister. 17,000 we paid for her at Goshen was a bargain. Buzz is in her family. He raced. He was a rock solid overnight racehorse in Woodbine Mohawk for years. If anybody used to, bets, plays Mohawk and Woodbine. Ambassador Hanover is in the family, so she's low. This whole family is jam packed with. Look at that. I mean, this is unbelievable. Her whole family is loaded. So she's really nice family. She's New Jersey only, so hopefully we'll see kind of how that new program looks. I gotta check it out what that new program's about. I saw it, didn't get to read it yet. Um, and um, and she's like I said, 17,000 was a bargain. So I bet you right now if she sold, she probably sell for like 50,000 or more. So there she is. She's a beauty. She's got that six pack body. Six pack is muscle mass and Cantab Hall, I believe. So it's not quite Muscle Hill. He's kind of unique six pack in that regard. Um, but she looks good. She looks very similar to Corner Store. They had the similar racehorse type bodies. Um, good size. She's actually Seven Seagrams actually has. I mean, granted, maybe it's just that she's bigger than Solar Queen. I'm not sure. Um, but she's got decent size to her. She's not big, not gigantic or by any stretch, but she's not small. That's what I'm trying to get at. She's strong, looks good, precocious, just like Corner Store is, and she has a nice way of going about her, and she's nice. She's a really nice filly. So good job for everyone who jumped in on her. She's going to be New Jersey. So I'm curious, very curious to see what this how New Jersey goes. So but I love New Jersey, so love racing there. Um, and then Solar Queen, we'll do her. Solar Queen, she's over here. She's our other Goshen baby. She's a Mets Hall filly. She's got the two White Sox in the back. She's a Mets Hall filly, and she's also a Chapter 7 dam. Her mother is out of Chapter 7. She's a January 25 foal, so she's 25th. So she's older. She's much older than she's on the older side, much older side of the yearling spectrum. So we'll see. Hopefully that helps. Um, you know, she'll be more developed, hopefully more mature. And first foal from Chapter 7 dam. So that's what we look for. That's kind of what drove her price up to 20,000. Being that first full and especially being Chapter 7 dam. That's everyone, and Mets Hall in particular. The best Mets Halls have been Chapter 7 or Conway Hall. And Conway Hall is like a grandfather of Chapter 7. So um, um, it's a no-brainer to get this filly, and she looks good. She's New York. She's a New York filly. We'll see how the we'll see how New York goes. New York is an excellent place to race. A lot of options. Um, and looking forward to it. Yeah, so I'm very curious about this one. Sir Pinocchio, he made 800,000. He's a Mets Hall with a Chapter 7 dam. Yeah, there she is right there. A lot of dapples, which is like those little dots on her skin and her hair, and it just means she's healthy and happy and everything. And she's really nice. She's a really nice, compact filly. She's got that Mets Hall kind of. Mets Hall was not a big horse, so Mets Hall, he kind of punched way above his weight from a racehorse perspective. I think he was like second in the Hambo, and it was crazy. He wasn't a big guy, but he always showed up when it counted. So she kind of got that Mets Hall compact body, kind of similar to Crazy Wow, and then she's got the Chapter 7 in there to kind of fill her out a little bit and give her those longer legs. So so she's nice. So there's no reason why, like I said, there's no reason why she can't be a really nice racehorse. Um, we can go down the line of all the Mets Halls that came out of Chapter 7 dams. That's been really good. And we're just kind of hoping for the same thing. With babies, you got to take a chance. So you got to take a chance. A lot of this is risk. And last but not least, the second chapter. He is I'm not sure where he is. He is where is the second chapter? There he is. He's doing fine. He's turned out right now. It's almost like a yearling with him. Um, because he didn't race this year. But as you can see here, my debt collector, his full sister, 3-year-old full sister, $750,000. She made $750,000 as a 2 and 3-year-old. That's just mind-boggling. And that's his full sister. So big shoes to fill. You know, that's big shoes to fill. So we're not saying he's going to be my debt collector, but he was doing well this year. He was doing well this year. It's just he's a March foal, so he's kind of an earlier side or kind of right where you want it. And he just wasn't ready. So he just wasn't ready. Paul just said and that's kind of we had that before on many horses where they just weren't ready mentally, physically. They're just not with the program. And you see it with kids sometimes. They're not following the instructions. They're not able to, focus. They're you know there's a lot of reasons. He just wasn't ready. So we'll see how he is. Now, usually, I'm curious to see what happens with him because I'll be curious to see if Paul starts him earlier for next year, or if he completely just puts them on the same schedule as the other 3-year-olds and waits till March qualifier and then April racing. We'll see. Sometimes when Paul was up here in New Jersey, he would try to start them earlier to try to go for like the Weiss Stakes, which is in I'm not sure if I'm pronouncing that right. In Poconos, it's in like February, March, and basically it's for 3-year-olds that have like I think like no wins, maidens or non-winners of two, and then they got like no money made, like non-winners of 15 or 20 grand. It's not much. So um, I'm not sure Paul's targeting that. It seems like he kind of keeping him in the same routine as like Geologic and Adios, My Lindy and stuff like that. So we'll see. We'll see what happens, but he just wasn't ready. So we'll see how he is as a 3-year-old. Anyway, with that being said, I think I covered all the yearlings and the 2-year-olds. I'm just going through the list right now while I'm talking. And yeah, I think we covered them all. So, so all right, with that being said, congratulations for everyone for who bought into the yearlings this year. It was a crazy yearling season between Goshen, Lexington, and Harrisburg. And congratulations to everyone who had stakes racing this year, who bought in for the yearlings in previous years. That's what it's all about. So you gotta keep doing it. You gotta keep taking chances every year. Not your whole barn. Some people it's a whole barn. There are some people who love the baby game. That's kind of like their whole thing. Nothing wrong with that. Um, for other people who you kind of want more of the action, things like that, or you really want to make sure you're not you don't want to lay out too much cash. You want cash flow coming in, then yeah, you can do more overnights, but you should always make sure you have some pieces of your stable and babies. You got to always have something in babies. That's the only way to give you that home run swing every year. So, all right, with that being said, have a good week and take care. Thank you.